Hello, my name is Latoya. Welcome to my crafty space. As you can see, I am in the middle of a project. I'm using this card sketch here. Pretty basic, just a base layer here, and then there's this layer with a mat around the edges, and then this is a die cut or an image on a die cut, and a little sentiment strip. So just using that for inspiration. Now, I started off by knowing that I kind of wanted to do a vintage card. That was like my first and foremost thing. And I pulled out my candy cane background stamp by Stampin' Up, stamped this out, and then for this one I pulled out my Bo Bunny set because I really like how old-fashioned the candy cane is here. So I just made my own background with this, and I'm looking at the two side by side, and I think I want this background here because there's a lot of space in between the candy canes, and I think that's just what I need for using this cabin on my card. So that's just what I'm going for. I absolutely love this background stamp though, but it's not suited for what I'm currently doing. So saving that little piece, which was done in real red. Now, then I decided to stamp off this cabin because I've yet to play with this set. So this is the Peaceful Cabin bundle. Y'all know I love like being outdoors, woods, kayaking, cabins, like just chilling with nature, so on and so forth. And cabins are just absolutely beautiful. So I'm like, you know what? I might be able to swing this as like a vintage, like gingerbread like card. I know, right? Like, who's going to make the Peaceful Cabin set into like a gingerbread house? I am. I'm gonna try anyways. So I went ahead and I stamped that out, and I used the dies because, you know, dies are life. I might use this die also. I don't know yet, to give this here more dimension. I don't know yet. I haven't yet to do that. And then I decided against the trees that came with that set because I really like these trees from the set that I played with in another card, which is the Snow Wonder set. These trees are just so cute, and I love how the, I almost called it icing. I love how the snow looks like icing on the trees, and I have the bundle for that. And I use the dies to cut out the tree. Now I need to redo it because this one got misaligned when I was cutting, so I'm gonna do that really quickly. And then we are all caught up. So that's where I am with this card. I'm probably gonna cut this here because I don't need all this empty space. And see, look at that. These trees, they're just perfect. So I'm going to do some more trees. And then I think I need a little more ephemera to help like round out this card. And I need to figure out if I'm going to do any kind of distressing. All right, you guys, so here is what I think will be my final card. I know, I'm super excited. So there's a lot of pieces here, and I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, because I think I ended with my card having this background piece and then the trees and this cabin. So let's talk about what I did, because I pretty much just did everything off camera because I was starting to be like a little indecisive, and then I just had to like sit down and just try a bunch of things out and, you know, make dinner so my fiance wouldn't starve. Okay, so what I did was with this card, I was like, you know what? I really want like some more ephemera. I want this to look very like, you know, vintagey Christmas, or as much as I can make it look vintagey Christmassy. And so I'm like, okay, I'll play with browns and reds. And then I was trying to figure out like what kind of banner I was going to have span across here. So I had a lot of things going on in my mind. So after I distressed the cabin a little bit, I decided to stamp out this gingerbread greeting sentiment. And this is from LDRS. This kit, I almost called it a kit. This stamp set is so cute. It's called Gingerbread Kisses, and the font on this gingerbread greeting sentiment is like absolutely perfect for this like old-fashioned candy cane background that I created with the Bo Bunny stamp. So then I was thinking, okay, I want to have like more Christmas paper on this card you know, just to make it look very like ephemera-y. So I took a piece of my, all right, this isn't the exact one because I don't know what happened to it, but you guys know I like to make my own backgrounds with my background stamps. So I had one just off to the side on my stash, and I took the die and just basically just made another die cut of this die that I used to cut out this gingerbread greetings. And that die is actually from the Snow Wonder bundle by Stampin' Up. The fact that this fits a whole sentiment by another company is like amazing. And this is why you should mix and match your, you know, Stampin' die sets. And it's also a bonus because I am playing with this set for this card. So I did that, happy accident. And I just layered this on top. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that looks like a very cute piece of Christmas ephemera. So cute. So now I have that. And then I decided to stamp out another piece of ephemera, just like a really cute sentiment. And this 'Tis the Season is from Christmas to Remember, which you guys know is like out right now. So I say get this because the sentiments are super cute. And this block sentiment, or I guess we'll just call it block sentiment, is absolutely adorable. And I was like, oh, I can just like shove this right under here. And it would just look super cute, just like nestled right underneath my cabin and my trees, which are supposed to like mimic looking like a gingerbread cabin and trees. Yeah, I'm close. So that worked out for me. And then I had some stars off to the side that I had die cut from one of my last cards. So I just took the smallest star and I'm like, oh, that'll look good right along the border here. So then I had to figure out my border because I'm like, okay, I want my card to be true to the sketch, but I like my sentiments and my image, it takes up a lot of space. It's kind of big. So I didn't want to do a really large matte layer like here. So I did cut out some different colors because I was trying to figure out which color would look best with this background I created. I decided on brown, and then I ended up just cutting like a smaller strip. And once I put that on, I was like, okay, I love this. I'm just gonna roll with that. So we have that. And then we have the little star just right here for a little cool piece of ephemera. And this card just looks awesome. So that is how I got this card. And oh, actually I'm missing the matting piece here. I'm like, why is there, it's so busy, like what's going on? So after I figured out this border, I then decided everything is going to be housed on this piece of matted cream cardstock. And I need to figure out a background for this. Obviously, I don't want it to be like too busy because I already have like the candy canes as the primary background. And then the images, I don't want anything to take away from those. And then I like the little star there. So that's where we're at. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a very simple background for this. Just make this look like a piece of DSP. And I'm going to use the snowflakes and birch because I like how these two look together. And I'm just going to do that in soft suede. Moment of truth, my little hodgepodge. I like that. It's not too busy. I think it looks adorable. Now I just need to do some ink blending. I think that's good. I wonder if I should do a cream border on this. Maybe. All right, you guys, so this card is done. I am super stoked. I know there's like a little red spot here. I forgot to move my cardstock over, but it's fine. I'm leaving it, and the inside of the card can be decorated, but that's not happening today. I have to detangle my hair because I have a dress fitting tomorrow. So I just love all of the layers on this card. I love the colors. I'm really glad I did add this little sentiment here, even though it's black. I feel like it's just like an extra piece of like ephemera, which totally fits the scene. And now that I'm holding this up, I realize I did not get rid of the glue that is on my card, and of course I can't find things when I need it. Okay, so there's just a little bit of glue here, which I'm looking like, what is that? Oh yeah, I should probably get that up. So there's a lot of layers here. It appears to be a lot of texture, but there's no texture apart from this die cut star here that has a little stitching all around it. There's a lot of die cuts, and the colors are just really nice and a little, vintagey. This is what I get for looking at, Tim Holtz stuff that I can't purchase and just trying to make my things look as such. Let's quickly go through what I used to create this card, which I think is just, it just makes my heart so happy. So this background piece is in this here. It's Basil cardstock, but you can use, Stampin' Up! If you have a really espresso. This cream layer that I used is actually Nina cardstock, and I just went ahead and distressed with the walnut stain distress ink. This background for this panel here that's behind the cabin, I ended up decorating that with the snowflakes from the Snow Wonder set and this birch stamp, which is so super cute. This background stamp is adorable, and this was my first time playing with it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Literally, I don't even know how I came across this thought, but I was like, I need something back here. I need it to be really spaced out. And if I make this card again, I'll do it a little lighter just to help with the contrast between the trees in the cabin and the background. But as it is now, it's fine. It's still, there's enough layers and dimension that these images don't get lost with that there. So I really like that. Plus, it ties into the scene with like the wood and the snow and just the little frosted gingerbread, adult-like gingerbread greetings that I'm sending out. So the cabin is from the Peaceful Cabin set. I have the bundle. It was just so cute. I could not pass it up. You guys know how I love playing with like masculine stamp sets and showing y'all how it's not really only masculine. So the cabin here, again, the detail in this stamp, once I stamped it, I was like, oh my gosh, this will look great in brown. In brown, it looks like a cabin that's made out of gingerbread. So like possibly it's like an adult gingerbread cabin, and the snow effect here just looks like frosting, and I just love it. So I'm really happy with how that came out. And again, I only used a few stamps on this card, and this was I'm sorry, I only used a few ink pads on this card, and this was a soft suede that I used. So I only used, as you can see, a few colors on this card. So I only used a few colors as far as my ink pads on this card. Some soft suede, some black, some real red, and then, like I said, I used some walnut stain to distress. I really like just the colors and the vintage look, and again, I think this is a perfect nod to like an adult gingerbread house. So I really loved this, and again, the snow looks like frosting, which sold me. And once I stamped it, I was like, okay, I love this. And to keep with the I need the snow to look like frosting look, I decided against using the trees in this set, and instead I opted to use the Snow Wonder trees because these trees have so much snow in here, and both of these stamp sets are similar as far as design. I'm talking like I'm an artist, and I'm not. And you guys know how I love buying stamps that kind of look the same, because it helps with, mixing and matching and just, getting a good run for my money, especially since when I own things, I want to have them for a very, very long time. So that's what I used there for the trees. This here, this little tag that I created, which I love so much, like, I'm so excited about the ephemera I have on this card. Like, I might sound really cheesy, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So I used My Favorite Thing stamped background, again, like one of my background pieces that I had off to the side, and I just cut around my die to get this layer here, and that die is from the Snow Wonder bundle. I bought the dies. Who would have thought that the stamp from LDRS's Gingerbread Kisses set, the Gingerbread Greetings, would fit absolutely perfectly in that die. Like, I screamed so loud and I was just perfectly giddy because this die is so darn cute. So that was a very nice surprise. And then this 'Tis the Season sentiment, honestly, I threw it in because, again, just looking at a bunch of like collage cards and ephemera cards, I'm like, you know what, let me try that and see if I like the look. And this Christmas to Remember set is just like so cute. All these sentiments are beautiful, but I really love like block sentiments. So when I threw that on there, I was like, hold the phone, I love this so much. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did that because it just adds something to the card. I think it just adds something to it, and I really like it. Even though it's the only piece of black I have on this whole card, it's not harsh. And my eye is like, okay, that looks good. And then I have this star here because, again, I wanted to play with some ephemera. So, you know, I die cut a bunch of my own, and I had these stars out from the Stitch Star dies. And I'm like, why not just have these off to the side and see if they can just go on any project. And I'm really glad I threw one on here. And I decided to ink blend around it just to help it be a little cohesive with, you know, all of the brown and the ink blending I did here. So, oh, and this panel, which I don't know if I talked about, but again, I just wanted to do something really simple, just like a simple stripe and something a little smaller because, you know, there's just so much going on here. I just didn't want the competition, especially with such a detailed background that I really like. So yeah, I didn't use too many stamp sets. I did venture off into, you know, other companies. Oh, I did use the dies to cut out the house. I used the die from the Peaceful Cabin set. So, you know, I did get the bundle. So absolutely love the results, and I'm glad you guys followed along if you did. And I hope you all do something crafty that makes you happy, and I will see you in my next video. Okay? Bye.